Hi guys, Darren from Auto Analyzers again. Got a 2010 Dodge Avenger today. It's got a transmission that intermittently does not shift, and it has a check engine light. Problem is intermittent, and half the battle is getting it to act up. But what I'm showing you here is the wiring diagram, specifically the transmission solenoid, pressure switch, and solenoid pack connected to the PCM. So I got a check engine light, intermittent no shift, and I have an underdrive solenoid circuit code that intermittently comes up. So obviously first thing I do is just pull out a wiring diagram, see what we're dealing with. The code is implying that it's electrical. And if you have a performance code, typically that's not electrical, but when you have a circuit code, typically that is electrical. It's not 100% of the time, but at least, you got a general rule to go by. So as you can see here, first thing that I did is pretty close to the PCM, which is under the hood. I hook up my voltmeter and amp clamp pretty darn close to the computer. And I did this with my Verdict snap-on Bluetooth meter, which then Bluetooths the signal to my Veris inside the car. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just use extension leads, whatever. I do that because I like the hood closed. I like it clean, and I don't want any wires, But anyway, I just wrapped the rag around my meter and just kind of stuff it on top of the computer, and it was just fine like that. But it's kind of cool, it being Bluetooth. But anyway, back to what I was talking about here. I got the voltmeter and amp clamp right at that point. Obviously, it's a yellow light blue wire, and let me show you the readings that I got when it did act up. So it took me a couple hours to get it to act up, but I got it to act up. The red signal is my voltage, and the green is my current. So at the time that it acted up, you can see the fluctuation in my voltage, but not my current. What does that tell me? That tells me that I don't have current going through the wire at the time that the problem is acting up. That's a huge clue, and that's why I had the amp clamp around it. Because then I know it's not the computer that's triggering it. If it was, because the computer supplies ground to that circuit, if it was the computer triggering it, I would have current going through that part of the wire being grounded by the PCM. But I don't, so I know it's not the computer that's causing that issue. And I wanted to rule that out because, it's Chrysler. Their computers half the time are just weird, and they do weird things. But anyway, at the end of the day, what I did find is that before my test point, closer to the transmission side, there was a wiring harness that was rubbing up against the rocker cover. But once I eliminated the PCM, I just dug around for a while and found that I just kind of suspected the PCM right from the start, and that's kind of why I went the route that I did. But at the end of the day, the amp clamp, a huge, powerful tool that kind of took out the PCM, and I didn't have to worry about it, and I could go after the wiring, which I found fairly quickly. Again, if you have an intermittent problem, you really need to get it to act up so that you know for sure what you're dealing with. Again, this is something that I printed out from the Veris. But yeah, if I don't have current, then I know it's not the PCM. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Post if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.